This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Google cooked with the Pixel 10 Pro and the Pro XL this year, and though it's perhaps not the biggest upgrade over its well-received predecessor, I think what we have here, and what is new for the first time, shows that Google has landed, and perhaps in the best possible time period as well. In this Pixel 10 Pro XL review, I want to talk about how Google stayed on track and managed to pull off a device that the masses are absolutely gonna love. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and I think maybe the best example I can give, or the best analogy I can give of the Pixel 10 Pro XL is to compare it directly with Apple's iPhone 17 Pro Max in its headline camera feature. ProRes RAW on the iPhone is a decidedly feature that maybe 1% of all users will ever even try, let alone use on a daily basis. But as soon as you download the AI enhancement model on the Pixel 10 Pro's camera app and zoom in past 30 times, you get results that actually wow people. People who aren't even interested in technology. And that counts for something. One of the most convenient and handy inventions of the last few years is certainly a VPN, and that's where this video's sponsor NordVPN comes in. Not only does this service help you browse anonymously, tunneling your network traffic through another region which helps secure your connection, but it's also just really handy for watching programs, movies and sports that you just wouldn't get in your home version of Netflix, for example. Or if, like me, you're a die-hard Premier League fanatic and you go on holiday, being able to log into your streaming services just as you normally would without a fuss is brilliant, and NordVPN allows you to do that. It works on Mac, Windows, iOS and our beloved Android. It's easy to install and get set up. If you go to nordvpn.com/androidpolice, you'll get up to 77% off a 2-year plan and 4 months extra for free. So check that link out in the video description, and a big thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's content. Okay, let's dive in here. The 10 Pro XL's cameras are the same hardware-wise as last year. Nothing has changed in that regard, though I'm not sure it was totally necessary because Samsung and Apple have both tried to match the Pixel in ultra-wide and telephoto cameras respectively in the last year or so, where Google kind of set the standard a couple of years ago and has, well, really worked on its software, as you might expect from a Pixel smartphone. The camera quality, I am happy to report, is going to be bang on for 95% of Pixel buyers, because the point and shoot reliability, the responsiveness, the moving subject accuracy, it's all fantastic. And I cannot deny the Pixel 10 Pro XL has some of the very best smartphone cameras, at least here in the Western markets. For the other 5% of buyers that might have wanted Google to upgrade its hardware as something with bigger sensors or a longer reaching telephoto, that's where for the majority, Google's headline feature is here. You opt in for Google's ProRes Zoom feature. It's an awful name because it clashes with the long-established Apple ProRes video format, but whatever. Anyway, this essentially turns the zoom camera into a bit of a monster. You can zoom in really far away and generate a picture that should look something like what was actually there in person. Now, I'm careful to say generate because this isn't a sort of upscaling system, more so that you are essentially taking a quite blurry long-range photo, which Google then inputs into as a prompt and generates via AI what it thinks might have been in the scene. All done locally on the phone, so no need to upload like Video Boost and wait for a download. It's all done on the phone and no need for an internet connection. As a camera snob and as a photography purist, this is not my cup of tea. But I tell you what, I have shown this to many people in my life, and the instant response is either wow or holy expletive, how the expletive can it do that? I think that might be exactly what Google is banking on. Because that's not far away from the response you get when showing people Top Shot or AdMe for the first time. It's Google's magic. Add that to potentially the best selfie camera on a smartphone, asterisk, I have not tried the new iPhone yet, and for me the very best consumer-orientated video in Video Boost that creates stuff that again makes you just kind of go, wow, how did they do that? And you have a camera package that is gonna be one of the best, if not the best, for the next 12 months. And it will likely take this crown among the mainstream, among the actual consumers here, not just the enthusiasts. The general public is going to view the Pixel 10 Pro XL as the most magic device with the best camera. Camera coach, TLDR, it's a useless feature, and a couple of my AP colleagues actually agree with me on this. Skip it, it's a load of nonsense. I mentioned that the ProRes zoom feature runs locally, and that's because Google has improved the Tensor G5's on-device AI compute capabilities for stuff like Camera Coach, AdMe, Pixel Studio, screenshots, and so on. This is fantastic. And if you opt to use those features, then the 10 Pro or the Pro XL is the best Pixel for AI. But unfortunately, raw CPU and GPU horsepower is not the G5's forte, and the numbers show it. Now, I'd caveat these benchmarks with this. When you use the phone, as many would any other, it does not feel nearly as slow as the numbers would suggest. The 10 Pro XL feels great, and for the average user who will buy it to doom scroll, take those crazy photos, and maybe play the odd Clash Royale game or something, the G5 in here will be enough to power that experience. I have no dramas with that. But needless to say, if you are a hardcore gamer, you play a lot of sort of Genshin Impact or real racing, then you're going to want to go with something Qualcomm or Apple powered instead. And also, it looks like you cannot buy UFS 4.0 modules in 128 gigabytes. So that would explain why Google has reserved UFS 4.0, the fastest storage, to models with 256 gigs or higher. The Pro XL only comes in 256 or higher, but the smaller Pro will require you to go for those higher storage models in order to achieve the faster storage. They both also come with 16 gigs of RAM, 4 of which is locked off for that AI stuff that I mentioned earlier. I think Google must have been working on the physical interaction experience, because the 10 Pro XL is another level. From super satisfying button presses to the polished sides that feel great, though I've almost dropped this phone like 25 times now, so just be very careful with it, it's very slippery, to the iconic camera bar on the back, to perhaps the most advanced haptics and vibrations that I've ever encountered in a smartphone. The 10 Pro XL feels like a seriously expensive device, and for $1,200, it better. That screen is certainly a standout component for me, just like it was in last year's 9 Pro and 9 Pro XL models. You have to be sure to enable the 120Hz option. It's in the settings, in display, just make sure you enable it so you are fully getting what you pay for. But once that is sorted, the display is something else. So punchy, so bright, and with the XL, so large as well. Ideal for our content-mad world. Android 16, now in its full version with M3E's design language, feels phenomenal. Probably my new favorite, to be honest. I think it nips One UI now, and the vibration feedback to tapping, swiping, messing around in the menus, it all feels fantastic. The 7 years of software updates as well is very welcomed and should mean that at least until the hardware gives out, you aren't going to run into any kind of compatibility issues and miss out on those critical security patches either. Touching on longevity there, the 5200 mAh cell takes around 70 minutes to go from 0 to 100% over a cable. Certainly not setting the world alight, but maybe by this point we weren't really expecting that from a Pixel at all. And Qi 2 charging, with its magnets, sounds cool, but isn't a deal breaker for me. It might be for you. And I didn't get to test it over my short stint with this phone, but never really felt like I was missing out by having to plug in via the bottom. And the actual battery life I experienced was also pretty good. It did not fail to get me through a full day. The poor standby time overnight meant that I couldn't rely on this as a 2-day smartphone in my short review period, which is a bit concerning, but it's something that I found with previous Tensor models of Pixel as well. It hasn't been great on standby. I'm not sure what this is or if it can be fixed with a software patch, but there you go. I typically get around 2 to 3 hours of screen on time per day, with comfortably enough left in the tank around dinner time, and my colleague Andy manages to average about double that, and even he said that a full day phone this is, so I don't have any dramas recommending the phone in that regard. So who should actually buy the Pixel 10 Pro XL? Well, I think if you're a Pixel 7 Pro or older user, you should definitely consider it. An 8 Pro user, well, it's not a crazy jump, but I could certainly understand the pull of the 100 times zoom, better battery life, and much improved performance. As for other systems, here's a summary. The 10 Pro XL has good performance, decent battery life, excellent physical feel, brilliant software, a wonderful display, and some of the best cameras in a mainstream smartphone. But it also charges relatively slowly, can't keep up with Qualcomm or Apple chips, and costs an awful lot of money doing that as well. This is firmly in the same camp as the Galaxy S25 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max from a cost perspective. The Pixel 10 Pro XL is a really good phone. It's pretty complete now and one that I can recommend to most people, but maybe not to everyone. And I'd seriously think deeper about upgrading if you're currently using a phone from, let's say, the last year or two, because as I've said before, there's been a bit of a plateau here, though there are certainly features to be excited about. This is it. This is the Pixel formula, and it's designed to, in software, just make you go, wow. But I want to hear your thoughts on these new Pixel models, and in particular, if you're coming from a Pixel 6 to Pixel 8 generation device. Let me know if you're thinking about making the switch, and whilst you're down there, be sure to hit like if you enjoyed today's content, and subscribe to never miss another upload on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.